All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Micah Norris.
My name is Ross Szabo, a.k.a. Mr. Szabo.
And welcome to the All Feelings Considered podcast, episode 3.
Episode 3.
Yes. So by the time you guys will see this, it will be Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to those who are watching. And on behalf of Black History Month, where we celebrate black leaders, we decided to have our first guest today, which is BSU. So welcome, guys. Thank you. So can you guys introduce yourselves and say what grade y'all in and who you guys are?
I'm Lauren Watkins. I'm a senior.
I'm Elia Jedro. I'm also a senior.
And I'm Nora Omwami, and I'm also a senior.
Great. So how are you guys feeling this morning?
Tired, but excited to be here.
I'm doing great. I had a great breakfast. Does anyone want to hear about my breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so I had sourdough toast, but on the sourdough toast, I had an omelet that I made.
You made the omelet?
I make pretty good omelets.
Oh my God. I wish I was
do.
a good cook like you.
And a smoothie, a fruit smoothie.
A
that I also
smoothie
made.
too?
Yeah.
Wait, how long did this take you to make?
20 minutes max.
Nah.
You make the smoothie while you're making the eggs, too?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I would have
So
been
I
in there
just-
for
I
an
go back
hour.
and forth. I go back and forth.
That's
That's
crazy.
great. That's very independent.
Yeah.
I'm tired too, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Wait, what time did you guys wake up this morning?
Like 6:30.
6:30 probably.
Oh.
6.
Oh,
I was up at 6.
I was up at 5:30. But it's
you
fine.
live-
No,
You live far away.
I live far, so you guys get a
have a
pass.
tough commute.
Yeah. But anyways, so this podcast is like we're here to talk about mental health, anything pertaining to mental health. So I just wanted, for our first question, I just wanted to ask, like, what is y'all personal experience pertaining mental health? Like, do you guys think it's different because of like the intersectionality of like being Black and a woman, or like how is your personal experience?
I think honestly, like,
Sorry, it's okay.
I think honestly, like, coming from like an African American household, it's like just kind of hard to talk about mental health sometimes because it's like it's not like in previous generations it hasn't been like stressed enough and like talked about. So it's just like trying to like change my parents to like make them understand how important it is and like how different it is for my generation is sometimes like a challenge, but I think it's like really important, and I always try to, honestly.
Yeah, I'm first gen. Both my parents are from Kenya, so it's like maybe even a little bit extra hard for me to like convince them to even talk about mental health, let alone talk about their mental health. I think over the years it's gotten easier, especially since I've been going here for like 7 years, so I get to talk about wellness, like the class, and then it can transition into a conversation about mental health. I also think I'm a little bit lucky because like I'm like way younger than my older sisters, so they're kind of lax at this point, so they're willing to like talk to me about stuff like this. But I think in the Black community in general, it's still such a taboo topic that it's going to take a while for it to like make an impact on people.
Yeah.
I'm also first gen American here. Both my parents were born outside of America, and I think, well, my parents are also very traditional, but they're also religious. So I think in religious households, really, the topic of mental health is sort of seen as okay, well, you have something going on. That's the devil inside of you. If you have bad mental health, it goes to, that's the devil inside of you. You just got to pray about it, go to church, all of that. So I think growing up with that, and especially attending, like, from my younger years, before Geffen, it was just religious school, so it wasn't brought up until I came to Geffen, and then I started opening up and learning about mental health and wellness and all that. And I think bringing that home was a bit funny because I think now with the media and everything, it's more talked about, it's more open.
Yeah. Whether
it's superficial or real, it's just that's what's going around. I think my parents see that and they're like, okay, well, that's just your generation, So I think for me it was more of a personal journey, but I did have the support of like learning about it at school. So I had a place, wellness class where I could talk about it and sort of validate my feelings and know that it's not just the devil inside of me.
Wow. Well, yeah, I think I kind of relate to all of you guys because I'm Black as well. I mean, obviously, but I it's just me and my mom, and like there's a lot of things that has happened in my family where like mental health isn't really a thing that's talked about. Like it's usually like we talk about it and then it's over. We never like, I don't know, we try to comfort each other, but at the end of the day it's like, okay, next day now you should be fine now, like this should be a one day done deal sort of thing. But yeah, I just think that coming here to Geffen as well has also opened me up to being more comfortable talking about my feelings, being more comfortable like saying how I feel, and just being more comfortable in wanting to know how I feel, you know, because yeah, once again, the Black community has a hard time really talking about mental health and taking it seriously. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are here today to talk about that. I'm glad you guys were open about that, because once again, not really talked about in the Black community. So speaking of that, why did you guys decide to become co-leads to the Black Student Union? And what is the future? What do you guys want for BSU once you guys are gone, because you guys are seniors?
Well, I've been going to Geffen since it started, and I've been like a part of the Black Student Union since then. And when like Jaylani and like all the other people were like running it, like I saw what they were doing, and I saw like the family that they were trying to build. So I felt like I wanted to like kind of like take that on when they left. And then like Nora was also there with me, and so we also were talking about that when we were younger. And then Elia showed up like literally like in 7th grade, so like we all became really close, and we all just like had this like shared kind of goal of just like creating community and like
Nice.
like a family among us, you know.
Did BSU start when you were in 6th grade?
Kind of throughout. Like at first it wasn't really like an affinity group, and then kind of students were like, well, where is it, you know? So we
Wait,
kinda
so
started it after.
you guys were in 6th grade, and the leads were like
Ninth
what grade?
grade.
They were
Yeah,
9th grade.
they're 9th graders.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, because they were the first graduating class, right?
Right. So it was like we
Oh, wow.
really weren't like old enough, I think, to like understand that we needed that like family like for us. But I think once we got older and we saw like that it was like established, we saw like, oh, like this is like an outlet, you know.
Yeah.
So we wanted to like take advantage of that. And I think like by becoming leads, like now that we have like, you know, like the ability to do that and set it up for the grades below us, you know.
For me, I came 7th grade, but my whole life I'd never really had a Black Student Union at any of my schools. I went to predominantly Korean schools, so it was a very different environment for sure. So when I came to Geffen, I remember seeing, I think Lauren was the first Black person in my grade that I saw. And I remember just talking to her, and I'm like, just in my head, I'm like, oh my God, like another Black person, and who's not, you know, like just another Black person. And she introduced me to Nora, and I just remember I'm like, oh, another one, you know. It was like a very
Another one.
it was a very like nice, comforting feeling, because I'm like, okay, they're in my grade and they're also
Yeah.
Black, and they have all these experiences. We don't really, you know, like we're sort of new. I mean, I was the newer one, but. And I think I went to they dragged me to the first BSU meeting because I was like, I don't know what that is. I remember walking in, I think it was Jaylani leading it. I think it was. And I remember hearing like a Stevie Wonder song playing. And I was like, I know this song, but like I don't really. It was just a really nice experience. I think for me, like being a part of BSU was really just about creating a space for Black students who feel like they don't have one at the school. You know, there's not a lot of us out here at the school, so I feel like being able to at least once a week or once every other week just meet with people who look like you, who share the same identity. It's really a special environment and community, because even when you see them in the hallways, you're like, okay, well, I know you from BSU, like you can talk to them even if they're not in the same grade.
I mean, y'all said what I was gonna say. Yeah, Lauren said earlier, I've been here since the start of Geffen. That's like what, 2017?
2017.
Yeah, it was a really long time ago. Yeah, and obviously I was like 11, so I wasn't old enough to understand the importance of having an affinity group, especially one like BSU, because I came from a predominantly Jewish and like Persian school, so it's not like, it is actually the same energy of coming from PWI, just knowing that like there's not a lot of people who are like you, so it's harder to feel invited.
Yeah.
Because you have to put more effort into even knowing that you should belong there. So when I came to Geffen, and damn, we're really all talking about Jaylani a lot. And like I saw shout out Jay. And I was introduced to BSU here. I was fine. Oh shoot. I was like, this is actually really cool, and this is actually really important. So I became a lead in my freshman year because, I don't want to say I feel more comfortable in a leadership position, but I just felt like I had so many ideas that I needed to get it out somewhere. And I knew in BSU, the ideas that I had wouldn't be challenged because everyone is either like thinking the same thing, like, oh, we need more of this at Geffen when it comes to like the Black community, or we need less of this, or this should be introduced to everyone. So I don't know, I think it's nice having a space like this here, and our goal is to, I don't know, be the top affinity group. I don't know. Yeah,
we could do that.
Yeah, we need that.
I mean, we're not saying like, we just want to celebrate our culture.
We want to celebrate us. We want BSC to be important.
We can be with everybody else at the top. How about that?
Yeah.
Sure.
But I feel like
But I'm gonna just say, in the past years, even talking to deans here, BSU really has sort of set like a standard, or sort of a standard of like things that affinity groups should do.
I mean, we started the first affinity group special.
Really?
I just want to say that.
Yes, we did.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
We were the first to come up with the idea of even designing one.
Yo, that's fire.
And even D-Rad had told us, she was like, a lot of people like look at BSU and they're like, okay, well, that's a good affinity group. Just saying that.
I mean, you guys are doing it. Like, since last year, since the beginning of this year, you guys have already been on top of it. Like, okay, we're doing this. Okay, we're going to make slides. Like, I feel like this is the first time I've seen so many Black people in one room.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first year we've had like this many students come.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And you guys are setting the tone for the future generations.
Do you think people understand the importance of that community? Like, do you think the average student at this school gets why you might need the connection or to have that kind of Black Student Union or the affinity group?
I think it depends on where the student grew up, because I feel like if you grew up without that, really, because there are some schools that have predominantly a Black and Latino population, so you might see that and be like, okay, well, why do we need a BSU here? So I think once you sort of get acclimated to Geffen Academy, it's like, oh, I see why. I mean, that's what I'd hope. So I think it depends on the student.
Also, on the flip side to what you said, the people who come from places that are lacking in like a Black community, I feel like talking to those people is especially hard, because having to defend yourself on why it's important to be even seen in a group is really hard to come across, because some people truly, like, I don't mean to say it, but like they truly live in a bubble where they don't have to defend their identity as much as we do. So having a space like this is really important, and I think everyone should know that, but not everyone is going to understand it. But I think just bringing it out there to have a conversation about it is just important enough, and that's comfortable enough for me.
Yeah. Oh wait, were you about to say something? Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I think there's also like a divide in the Black community, just in general, between like African Black and African American Black. And I think I definitely saw that coming here, because I was like, well, I come from a more African family, so to me, sort of what the American Black culture of like, what's that one song? Wait, the step, bro. You know what I'm talking about? That one dance. That dance.
Wait.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's not everybody. It's not everybody.
It's not Cupid Shuffle. It's the other one.
It's
Electric Slide. I think.
Wait, how does that one go?
The Electric Slide.
Wait, no, I know how this one go.
Yeah.
The music got to turn on, though.
I remember coming here, and we had done it for BSU, and I was standing there like, she. I was like, I didn't grow up with this, man. I didn't grow up with this. But, like, I think here, there's not really that divide. It's more like you're Black, and the parents, especially, they go by African community, which has a K to represent that, the diaspora and all that. So I think it's important to have that here as well.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting divide, though. When I lived in Botswana for 2.5 years, I was in the Peace Corps, and some of the like other people in it with me were African American, and you know the whole like time we were prepping and getting ready to go over there, they were like, "We're going to home, we're going to the motherland," and then almost everyone in Botswana just hated him and made fun of him and was like, the stereotype of African American in Africa is like really harsh, and so it's, you know, I think that happens in every community, but it is an interesting.
Yeah, I wonder
for
why
sure.
though. Like, I don't really have anything to
I think that would have
expand
to be
on
a
that.
whole separate podcast.
That
Yeah.
would another episode if you guys want to come back for sure.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We only have like 17 minutes, but we could talk. Y'all can come back and we talk about it. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah. Wait, were you?
Part 2, she said.
Part two. No, it's coming. It coming soon. But yeah, I think being the minority in a white space could be hard, but I also find that like such a special experience in a way. Like it took me a while to adjust myself to a PWI because it was my first time being at a PWI. All my life I grew up in a Black and Latino community, so that's all I knew. But when I came here, it was like I was experiencing culture shock, and I just had to adjust to that, and it took a while. But I just think that I came out the other way, like a better version of myself, a more confident version of myself. Like, I feel like if I wasn't here, then I probably wouldn't be able to be doing this podcast right now. Like, I feel like for me at least, or I can't really speak for everyone, but just putting yourself and challenging yourself to put yourself in spaces where you're not really comfortable will really help you come out a better version of yourself. I feel like I just talked in circles, but yeah.
No, yeah. I see what you're saying. Because, like, before I came to Geffen, I went to an all, like, predominantly African-American school. And coming here was, like, a really big shift. Because, like, I wasn't, receiving, like, the same, like, education as everyone else. Like, you know, like, they were taking, like, standardized testing. They were taking, like, standardized testing and, like, all these things. And it's, like, I wasn't, like, I didn't grow up the same way. So it was, like a shift educationally, like, and socially. So I think that's another reason why BSU is so important, because there's so many other students who are coming in, like, years, and they're, like, having the same experiences as we did, and it's, like, I feel like this is here for them, and it wasn't here for me.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
You also, I feel like you learn a lot about other cultures here as well. Even the European culture, you know. Well, okay, maybe not European, but like I remember one of my friends, she's white, and I remember asking her, I'm like, "Oh, you're white?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm Italian too."
Oh yeah, they be having good food though. I'm not even gonna lie.
But I was
they
like,
have good food.
that's so interesting, because honestly, I used to believe that like white people were just like Europe, like just Europe.
Just Europe, yeah.
Like
I thought so
that's
too.
it. And I mean, in a way, but
There's Canada and
lots of other places. But even like the Jewish culture here, you know, you learn about that too, because it's like we have Shabbat.
Their
like,
food is fire
I
too.
can tell you about that.
Oh my God.
Because I've been at Geffen, and I've surrounded myself with so many different types of people.
I know a lot of times the African American thing gets played out, but it's not like there's a track record of
No, it happens with every
strong
race.
history.
But no, coming here, like finding out different cultures and stuff, like the Jewish affinity group, like all the affinity groups, their food, oh my God, their food is so fire. I just had to talk about that. Like, I just catch myself like going in there, supporting them, but like getting food and be like, thank you so much. And then I leave. But like, it's like much respect. I really like learning about these different cultures too.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I thought you were going to say something, no?
I was just gonna say I agree with the food comment. Sometimes I just go into I care about these people too. These people are my friends. I care about their cultures also, but the food is fire.
It's fire.
And I personally believe that food is like the fastest way to connect to people.
That
as
is
well.
so true, yeah.
So I'm just happy that Geffen is able to like have a nurturing environment where you're able to walk into any affinity group and you won't be like feeling like, oh, like I should not be in here right now. That's not my identity. It's welcoming enough where like they'll let you in and they'll be like, eat with us or like learn this with us, and it's like chill.
Yeah. Oh, I think okay, this is not my last question, but I was just thinking about this. This school preaches and talks a lot about like allyship and how we should all come together. What advice would you give to people that aren't Black? Like what advice would you give to those people that would like to, you know, appreciate you guys or sort of like respect us Black people in predominantly white spaces?
I go first.
I mean, you have the mic.
I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know. I think I would say like if you're trying to educate yourself, I feel like there's so many ways to go about it. And just like from my experience at Geffen, what I've seen with students, it's like they're either gonna like come ask me or Nora or like some Black person,
assuming that you like,
if they have like a question about something, or like, or they just say something and they're like, okay, like I don't mean this racist way, but, and then
Crazy
they like
starter.
say the racist thing, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
It's like someone saying no offense, and then they say the most offensive thing.
I'm just like, well,
to
you know,
It's
you're
the
about
same
to,
energy.
you know, this is about to be racist. But like, I feel like if you're trying to educate yourself, there's so many resources now. Like, I feel like with social media and like even TikTok, like there's so many different
TikTok is a hit or miss.
TikTok is crazy right now. Like every single video is a like ad or like shop thing. Like there's so like everyone has bonnets now. Have you been seeing?
Oh, have you seen the
Genuinely.
white girls with bonnets and they have the
Wait,
silk
that's
ones
not
too?
even-
Has a bonnet now.
There's silk bonnets
Everyone
too.
has
That's
a bonnet now.
crazy.
Like Black culture, I swear to God, it's like genuinely left and right. Like I don't understand why it's really. Well, I'm not gonna get into that, but
part two.
Your question was how can people go about it? I think like genuinely just look it up for yourself. Like it takes not that long because like people think researching it is so like depressing or like you know they don't try to educate themselves. It's like, oh, like I don't talk about, you know, hard times, you know, moving past blah blah. It's like Black culture is literally everywhere.
It is. I agree with that.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone is
It's ingrained in everyone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like someone has hoops on, I swear to God, like that's why.
And I
Like,
think,
come on, like,
it's
like
yeah.
people just need to stop being like scared or not
I
scared,
know.
but like just
Lazy
uncomfortable.
and
I
uncomfortable.
feel
and
like it's
also
like
lazy.
made like a taboo subject or something, like talking about like, you know, just like the hard times or like not even like the hard times but like the good times and stuff. It's just like not like a subject that's talked about enough, I think, for something that's so prevalent in today's culture. It's like it's crazy to me, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I said the word lazy because I think people are just too lazy to find out information for themselves, and that's when it goes to Lauren's point of people coming up to us and being like, oh, what do you think about this thing? And they say the most complex thing about Black history, and it's like, not only am I like not experiencing every single thing every Black person's gone through, I'm 18 years old. I don't know everything. Like, I'm woman enough to admit that I don't know everything that's going on.
Right.
And I don't know everything that has happened up until this point. So I think, yeah, people should, if you have the energy to come up and ask me these questions, you have the energy to go on your phone with your 10-hour screen time on TikTok and just look it up for yourself. It's not that bad.
She ain't
But then
lying, though.
also at the same time, you have to be willing enough to do this research, but you also have to be sensitive enough where you're not like saying stupid things just to say stupid things. Because people also just ask questions because they think it's funny. Like, haha, bonnets. Like, nothing's funny about that. It's
Like, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but did y'all see you everyone knows who I'm talking about, but the kid who is walking around here with the do-rag,
No.
the white kid,
you haven't seen
everyone
that?
knows who I'm talking about sitting in
We
this
know.
room.
I didn't know.
And I just
Wait,
want to
when?
say, I just want to say how disrespectful I think that was, because everyone was posting it and everyone was talking about how
Like,
funny
making
it
fun
was.
of
That
it?
was so disrespectful, because he literally was like,
And that's another thing too.
it's just like the cultural appropriation everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
you can.
crazy.
It's,
Yeah.
I feel like we need more cultural
crazy.
appreciation than appropriation. That's
Yeah.
what you
That's
guys
what
are
I'm
saying,
saying.
right? Yeah.
It's like,
I personally think too, like, imagine if basically what I'm saying is people have appropriated Black culture so much that they think it's funny, and if they see someone else doing it, they're not going to be like, hey, what's up with that? They're going to post it on their Insta, or they're going to take pictures of it and show people like, oh my God, look what this person is, so funny. And I think that's messed up because, like, I feel like other cultures here have earned that respect from other people here, that like if we tried that, or if the same kid tried that, there definitely would be like a restorative talk about it. But that kid was out. The kid is tall too. They
Wait.
were out in the open.
At the lunch table.
We're not naming names.
Walking
No,
around. Yeah, we're not dropping names.
Yeah,
but
we're not
like,
dropping names.
I
No.
just want to like I saw an administrator look him dead in the eye, and they
Okay.
literally, and he was black, the administrator.
Huh. Well,
But it's just like stuff like that will happen. There have been multiple other things like that have happened here too. It's a high school. It's not gonna like stuff like that's gonna happen. You're gonna have kids that are trolls and like it's unavoidable. But I think like something should be done about it.
take it more seriously.
I'll make this quick because I know we have to, Close
Close it off, Philly.
In terms of being an ally, I feel like, yes, do your research, but also attend like community times, because a lot of, even outside of BSU, like affinity groups host community times. We have
Yes.
events. Go to them. Ask questions to the performances. Ask questions to the people who are there. But also, I think you can ask Black people. I think as Black people, we should sort of be a bit sensitive, or not sensitive, but like a bit patient with people, because some people are generally ignorant and
Yeah,
they don't know that what
Yeah.
they're saying is horrible. Like the other day, my friend who's white, I had to teach him the difference between locks and braids, which a lot of people don't know. Because I remember he's like, "Oh, I love your braids." I'm like, "No, actually, they're locks."
They're
I like
locks.
tested him too, like later on, because he was actually curious. So I showed pictures of locks and braids. And I'm like, "Okay, which one's which?" And like he caught on, like he was interested. And I feel like sometimes people, you need to be patient with them, because they're not always going to know that, oh, it's a stupid question.
Right.
But also there are stupid questions that are very obviously stupid. So
Just don't
just
do
be
that.
sensitive
Yeah.
on both ends.
Right. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you guys
Thank
are
you.
coming back again. Just send a form. Let me know. Text me. But yeah, hopefully you guys liked being here and talking.
Definitely.
Hopefully
I
the
did.
audience liked listening to this. There's a Google form for long form and short form topics or stories that you could talk about, whether it's anonymous or if you want to do it in person. Do that if you would like to be on the podcast. And yeah, we're just going to close it out here. Happy Black History Month once again.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
And thank you, Szabo, for being such a
Thank you,
good
Szabo.
listener.
That's a good ally.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
good
I mean,
ally.
I think the most important thing from this episode is just remembering that identity and mental health aren't separable. You know, when you wake up and see yourself every single day, there's just going to be parts of you that can be complicated, parts that you love, parts that you're still learning about.
Yes.
And I think everyone today just did an amazing job of being vulnerable, being honest about how that plays out, how that affects them, and just how it affects the community. So it's impossible to talk about things like Black History Month without bringing in that piece of emotional development and mental health.
Yes.
and how we keep learning from the communities and from the people in it.
Okay, I just have to do that. You guys, did y'all hear that? Yes. Good. We just needed that. Thank you. I think we're going to end it here now.
Thank you.
Y'all can
Thanks,
get to class.
everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you.